so much better. Kim, you're so funny. I don't know if you can have this. I don't know if you can have the kit yet. We will see. We will see. Swags are not my strong suit. And it's like, it's always the bow at the top. I need to like learn to go bigger with it or something. Hello, Jackie. And like, who am I that I'm eating gummy bears and chewing with my mouth open? We are here for a class act today, people. Forgot to put that light on. Hey, Valerie, nice to see you. So yeah, today, I'm gonna put the gummy bears away. Nothing good's gonna come from this. Do you know that most of my wine fridge is filled with gummy bears at this point? I don't know what it is, but like, I don't think that they're bad for you. Like, I think that they're a healthy food group. Hey, Ginger, I know I was late. I knew it was gonna happen. Well, I was gonna be early, but then I was like, I always find something to do. The ADHD is strong in this creative space of mine. So today we're gonna be working with a kit from TMI Gifts. So it's a chocolate mousse kit. I don't know how many are left. I know some have sold. I don't know how many there were to start though. So some of these items you may only be able to get in the kit. I don't know. At some point, Tiff might jump on and she can give us some insight. Let's see. Oh my gosh, gummy bears are so good. And like I found a place that had like the whole line of, what is it, Haribo? Like everything. It had like Smurf ones. It had like unicorn ones. And I was like, yes, I need them all. So how are you guys doing today? Tell me. And I'm going to get this little guy started. Hopefully, because last time I did him dirty. All right, so for this kit, and I made this when I was out at TMI Gifts, when I was out in Alabama. And so what is in this kit, we have this beautiful, I think it's a 32-inch swag. Okay, and so the first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna fluff this, and then we'll talk about what else is in the kit. Yes, I can link, I have the kit linked on Facebook. I will link it here after. That's a great idea, Ginger, thank you. And Ginger, you were one of the orders I pulled when I was there. So I saw you comment that the reindeer are gone, and I have a couple here. I waited to give people a chance to buy them, and then I just went in for the kill. So I have to use them. I will say Amber from Green Eyed Butterfly Designs, she made something really beautiful with it. I will leave it to her to discuss, but it's gorgeous. Oh, Jackie, another surgery? I'm sorry. I'm glad I can keep you company, but I wish you were not having to deal with all that stuff, because recovery is one thing, but there's also just a level of stress that goes into that, and like getting ready for it, and then all of that stuff. So I hope you have a speedy recovery. I had to have a procedure done like a few years ago, and literally like I was all like prepped and like waiting in the bed to like be wheeled into the OR operating room. And would you know that they lost power and they sent me home, and I like almost didn't go back the next day because I'm like, I can't emotionally go through this twice. It's a very, very stressful thing to be dealing with. So I'm so sorry that you're going through it again. This is a fantastic swag. Okay. So this brand is Essentials. I thought at first glance it was Christopher David, because they also, so TMI Gifts also carries Christopher David. And I have worked with those before as well, and it's beautiful. And it's got like a nice big hook up here. So, you know, like there's kind of two schools of thought, I think, with swags. Sometimes people just take something that's small because they're going to add so much to it. But for me, like I don't use mesh. because a lot of people use like mesh to like really build it up. But for me, I kind of want all this greenery here, and I want to be able to like tuck things in. I want to see if this guy is, if I turn him on. Oh, what am I doing wrong? Because I want to be able to, okay, I think now he's going. Whenever I'm working with ornaments, I always want to just add a little extra glue to the top. These seem like they're on pretty good, but like Hobby Lobby, like you take them out of the box and like these, whatever these things are called, like they're already falling off. So if that's what you're relying on to keep ornaments attached, it's not gonna go very well. I just never did mesh. Hey Carlos in Chile. What's it like over in Chile? Because here it's kind of rainy. Rainy here in New Hampshire. So I'm in New England in the US. Yes, I love these. Okay, these look like they're glass. Like in my house anyways, I can't have anything here that's glass because of the dogs. I mean, they're just like a bull and many bulls in one china shop. So I love these. These are, I think they're called like chocolate crinkle, which I should have brought over the sheet with everything, but I think I have it online anyways. So, yeah, so it's gonna come with 2 of those chocolate, let's see, chocolate crinkle ornament. And then we have our tan finial ornaments. With finial is like a buzzword right now. So, you know, like when you're going on Etsy to do some research, like, you know, you go to the search bar and you start to type in what it is, because if you're looking to find out what's trending. So usually I'd start off with wreath for front door, and then it kind of starts spitting out the rest of the words. And that's how you find out how people are entering their search, because how someone else talks, or, you know, what they call something might not be what we call it. So somebody might not know that this is a swag. So I guess you could be, actually, I really hadn't thought of that. I bet a lot of people don't know it's a swag. So I feel like you'd have to come up with like rectangular pine or long pine. You could even say wreath, because if that's how if that's what they think it is, I guess that makes sense. And yeah, these finial ornaments are amazing, and I still need to see. Okay, so I'm always gonna do a little edumacation about Surebonder. This is their brand new glue gun. Okay, and it is a rechargeable cordless glue gun. Okay, and there's kind of like a time and a place for their products I'm learning more and more about. So for this isn't like something heavy duty. Like if I was going to clean up a back of a wreath and I wanted to use this all around, it's not going to work well for that, because this has a much smaller like tip. It doesn't, you know, it's got a mini glue stick. But for things like this, the more detailed work, it's perfect. And when you have this fully charged, it will go for a full hour. So I have switched over to using their glue ropes, especially for workshops, because like it's just a pain when you're like really in the zone, and you know, those glue sticks, you go through them quick. So instead of having to keep like stopping and reloading, you know, you have your glue rope and you are good to go. A straight wreath. Okay, so yeah, so Ginger, that's perfect. Ginger had a customer call it a straight wreath. So that's a great way to phrase it when we're putting it on Etsy. And you could use the word swag, and you can still put straight wreath, you know? Thank you, Jackie. I have started playing pickleball, and I've started walking Bruno more, because I think that I kept thinking his puppy energy was going to kind of slow down, and it's not. So aside from walking him, the next step is going to be the snip, and I really don't want to do it because I want him to get to 2 years of age before. I really want to breed him, but I don't have anywhere to breed him, but he's such a good dog. Not sure why I'm talking about Bruno's parts right now, but Yes, so we have been walking, but thank you very much. Let's see. I'm educating them as I run into, yeah, I think it's so important for this community, like when you get that tidbit of information to share it, because it's all going to come back to you like tenfold. And I mean it, I've experienced it, you know, like people who, you know, don't gatekeep, and gatekeeping is like intentionally just keeping information or things like that from people. Gatekeeping is going to catch up to you. Karma doesn't like that. I'll tell you that much. So I think the more that we share with one another, the better off it's going to be for us, because we have relationships with people in our same community. And then also it helps us all grow, because we're not, you know, recreating the wheel, you know? All right, so let's think. I know how I'm going to place my ornaments, but let me start with the bow. Okay, now at first glance at TMI Gifts, I didn't love it until I saw it actually used. Okay, because it's like brown, gold, kind of copper. It's got a brown backing on it. But when it's in bow form, it's beautiful. I agree, Valerie. Gatekeeping has to be a very lonely place to be. And somebody else had mentioned that it's kind of like a reflection of feeling insecure. So like, I think sometimes people think that they're like being coy with their gatekeeping. Like I had to figure it out myself. But in all actuality, it kind of is a reflection of like you're threatened that if someone knows where you got a certain something, then they're going to make something better than you. Even though Kim does. Kim from CLK Creations, she does, but I applaud her for it, and I love it, and I love seeing her spin on things. I am cracking up because when I did my kit at TMI Gifts, like, hers was so much better when she bought the kit, and I was, like, happy to see it. I was like, that would have been a much better way of doing things. So, I think it's always great to see people put their own spin on things. So right now, I'm in the process of doing in-person workshops. And like I always tell people they can go rogue because it's their wreath, it's their night. It's, you know, like you're not in middle school. Like you don't have to do what the teacher says. So I've just been telling people like, you don't need to follow step by step with me. If you wanna go rogue, if you wanna make a totally different style wreath, like that's up to you. Like I'm here to help as much or as little as you want, kind of thing. And this season in particular, people have really gone rogue. Okay, I've been using those, they're like, I've been calling them like harvest picks. They have like apples, pomegranates, chestnuts, things like that on them. And flowers. People are skipping the bows. They're skipping the maple leaves. Like, it's very interesting to me. I don't know if maybe it's how I'm presenting it makes them feel like they like can go rogue if I wasn't doing that enough. But yeah, I love that everyone has the exact same materials and they all are different. Like everyone puts their own spin on it. It's great. All right, so right now I'm gonna work on my main bow for up top. It's okay, Kim. It's okay. I am secure enough as a woman to know when I have been out-designed, and you just did an amazing job. And I'm not putting myself down either. I'm happy with what I did. I just liked yours better. That's all. So, because I know I'm always telling people not to talk bad about themselves. So, I'm gonna take my own advice. But so, okay, so just for this step, I don't know if you guys can see, but like this ribbon I think looks so pretty when it's looped. Because Lori at TMI Gifts had something out on the floor, and I'm like, oh, it's so much. Sometimes you just need to see something actually being used to get a true sense of like if you'd like it or not. Just like some striped ribbons, they look okay, but then you see them on something. Like there's some striped ribbons, I wish I knew the brand. Like it's like mint and gold. It's pretty stiff, but like it has a very striking like pop to it. And I'm like, oh, I need more of that. And I appreciate you, Kim. And I love, if anybody is not following Kim from CLK Creations, she's always doing reels where she like throws something up in the air and then it comes down. But she did one today where she fell. She fell with her thing, and then like she's kind of getting back up, and then she shows you like what the finished product was. That was like by far my favorite. They all crack me up, or not crack me up. They all entertain me. But oh my gosh, Kim, if you could just do a series of like things like that go wrong, like you trip, you know, I don't know. I mean, you already know what you're doing, but it really cracked me up. And yes, Lori is amazing. Not only is she a great designer, but can I just say that woman has a heart of gold and she thinks about everyone. Like, she is just so caring. She left me a voice memo, or like we do Marco Polo. And was it a voice memo? Maybe it was a voice memo. I don't know what it was. She messaged me and like I was like almost in tears. She just having people that are that amazing, like take the time to like reach out, you know, to me it just made me feel amazing. So that's why I always just think, you know, if you see something and you like it, like tell that person. Like, I mean, I will stop strangers to say like, oh my gosh, I love your dress, like, you know, whatever, because it's how I feel. And like, I don't know, I feel like people should know when you admire something. Exactly. You're not a hot mess. I was saying exactly to Valerie. I didn't see your comment. Exactly, you're a hot mess. No, it's amazing. You got to take the credit. I'm with Valerie. I am with Valerie. Hey, Bernie. So it's been raining here. So, Bernie, because she couldn't be bothered to go outside, she just decided to poop under my bed this morning. And I blamed Steve. And Steve looked kind of guilty. But then Bernie came back and she looked really guilty. And I was like, you need to go outside. Like, we are not that pampered, and I do not want you going to the bathroom under my bed. It's disgusting. And I had to reach under, and I was like, if I touch that, I swear to gosh, like with my hand, I'm gonna just call it a day. All right, so I'm just doing some layers right now. Hey, Barbara in Connecticut. There is an account I'm following on Instagram. Oh, it's like Cozy Home. I forget the name. I forget the full name, but I am like obsessed. This guy makes the most beautiful entryways. He does like rustic wreaths, so it goes with his aesthetic. So I'm not gonna, I have nothing negative to say about it. He did his entryway in all like green and white pumpkins, and then like this, I don't even know what he made the wreath out of. It was like something he foraged. Oh my gosh, it's so beautiful. And I'm trying to think of what part of Connecticut he is in, but I keep saying like, when are you inviting me? And I'm like, I'm not joking. I'm like, I think my invitation got lost in the mail, because like the, you know, the tablescapes, and he's got hot apple cider, you know, like there's just, which I have been like downing hot apple cider this week. It is so good, and it is so like raw that it is just like my favorite right now. One of my favorite things about fall, and I got to get my hands on an apple cider donut too. I feel like those are like, you get a pass. Like, I don't eat donuts, but I will eat one. Last year, I think I bought a 6-pack and I ate all 6. But they are that good. All right, so we used 2 of the 2.5-inch ribbons. Okay, so again, TMI gifts. This is part of the Chocolate Mousse kit. If you use promo code KARA20, you save 20, and you want to make sure you purchase kits separately, because if you even like throw in a roll of ribbon, it's going to charge you shipping. So like you could order 2 kits together and it won't charge you, but if you add like a single item, it is going to. So just, you would want to do an individual transaction for that. Because I didn't know that, and I wasn't telling people that before. I'm like, I really hope people weren't getting charged tax because I didn't explain it properly. All right, let me think about this. No, okay. Well, I am thinking about it, but 1.5 inch, and I love this. Any of TMI Gifts, I think it's called flat glitter. Hold on, I do have it pulled up here. Any of their flat glitter, okay, so the first ribbon is called Metallic Fur, which makes sense. It does have like a little bit of like that fur feeling to it. It's called Fine Glitter Ribbon. It does not go all over the place. Like, I don't know about you, but I do not want to make it look like my workshop is like a strip joint. I cannot have glitter everywhere. It drives me insane. It drives me insane if I leave the house and I've got glitter on. Also questionable about what I was doing. So I prefer these because the glitter really doesn't come off. I mean, I'm sure maybe some of it does, but it really, like, compared to other things where you just see like a cloud of glitter, this is fantastic. And they have it in all like 1.5 inch, 2.5 inch, 4 inch. They have them in a ton of colors. So this is like one of those things that when you find a good product, so this is from really great ribbon from at TMI Gifts. I like would buy this. I have this in many colors and sizes because it's just all of them across the board are consistently fantastic. Would you guys have a favorite ribbon? Like for me, so this year, Deluxe has definitely like been on my radar for the first time. I don't know where it was before or where I was living under a rock, but I love Deluxe. It never disappoints. I love Farasilk. It's so expensive, and I get really like stingy with it, which there's nothing wrong with that. I think that is the right thing to do when we're working with designer ribbon, is only use it, you know, like in prominent places. But Deluxe, I feel like it's kind of like almost like D. Stevens quality without the price. I love D. Stevens too. You know, it's just, if I'm going to buy like a high-end designer ribbon, like the velvet and pearl, like I have to really love it if I'm going to pay $30, $40 for ribbon. And I mean, and they have things that are much more expensive than that. But for me, I always just worry that, you know, do clients know like how much it costs? Like, do they know that it's worth it to buy an expensive wreath because the ribbon is like that expensive? So I kind of just try and use a little bit. Deluxe is your fave? Yeah. Yeah, I love Farasilk. I love their like thinner ones because they're very structured. And like, especially, I've seen a lot of those bows. I don't know why I haven't tried one, but like, you know, it's like it's probably like 1 inch ribbon and they just do like a bunch of like big loops. I think that looks fantastic. And so you need like really good stiff ribbon. And I feel like this, like lately, this round, when I pulled out Christmas ribbon from last year, I'm like, ugh, some of it's just flimsy. So I think my standards of ribbon have, you know, have been raised, because if you're doing a big bow and the back of it is like flimsy, it just all like, it all falls backwards, or it doesn't support the loops in front of them. So like, I think that you need to have ribbon that has good structure if you're gonna make something like a bow with mixed textures to it. Oh, this is really soft. This is really pretty. Yeah, working the bow aisle at TMI Gifts was my favorite. It was by far the most hectic, and like it was nice because I could also like go at the end of the day and just kind of look. But yeah, that was a busy aisle, and if you were in the way, people are we're gonna stare you down until you moved. Let's see. Yeah, that's how I feel, Valerie. Like, unless somebody actually, you know, said, I want this ribbon on this, and then you could explain, you know, okay, it'll cost $50 or something. Other than that, I feel like there's a lot we can do without it. But again, that's just me. I mean, I wish it all translated. I just don't know that it does. But I will say that pearl and velvet, they have it in all different colors, and I really do want to buy more. That was I got that from Creek Road Designs at Wreath Makers Live, and it is just beautiful, and you don't need to use a lot at all. I like legit want to like glue it to my clothes. Like it's so pretty. I would glue that to my clothes. Yes. Oh, look at that. Miss Renee Bouquet has subscribed to Kim's channel. So yes, that is always something I forget to say. So yes, if you're enjoying this content, please like, subscribe, and share. But also, when you're watching these things, if you are a designer, like we have on here, just want to make sure, Poof Designs by Valerie. Like, it's awesome to give each other a follow and a boost because, you know, we never know all the great things that people can do. Like, there's so many people that are in coaching groups, and it's not that they necessarily need to learn how to design, because their designing is amazing, but you wouldn't have any idea unless you put yourself out there. So I really enjoy when people, like, you drop a link to your shop or, you know, to your, I guess Etsy page probably isn't helpful, but like your social media, stuff like that. I love that because it just helps us grow our community. And our community is honestly like just so cool. I feel like for the longest time, I think I just stayed in my own lane and I didn't really know a lot of other makers. And now that I do, I'm like, I was missing out so much this whole time. See, and now Kim's gonna get Renee back in a good way. That's how it works. You are very welcome, Valerie. Valerie, I know you say you're not calm and peaceful, but that's just how you are to me. And now we know you're a card shark too. You got a lot going on behind that sweet face of yours, my friend. Quite a bit. Awesome. That's the way to do it, guys. That is how to do it. So the other day, I guess it was Sunday, I had to get out some like major, like, I don't know if I want to say energy, aggression, I don't know what it is. I had to get something like out. And so it was raining and I didn't even care. I went outside and I landscaped my entire like front bed. And I pulled up a bunch of things that like somebody planted in the wrong places. I mean, these things have been here for like 13 years. I dug up an arborvitae, and if you've ever dug up an arborvitae, then you know like those things are so nasty, the root system. When I went to pull it up, I legit broke off the shovel, the bottom part of the shovel. I broke a metal shovel, snapped it. That's how hard it was and how beastly I was. So come the next day, I ended up with like having to wear braces on both hands because I could not, my forearms like absolutely killed. I'm super proud of myself for getting it done. But oh my gosh, like we got to remember sometimes like our hands are our moneymaker, and when you're too rough with them, then it might impact other things that you got to do. All right, so I'm just using some floral wire. So use a zip tie to secure the loops together. You can also use a chenille stem. You can use floral wire. For me, when you're using that many ribbons, I think that the amount of pressure it's going to put on something is a good amount, which is why I use the zip ties, because the zip tie is going to withstand that level of pressure. But yeah, my parents live next door and they stopped and they were like, "What are you doing?" And I'm like, "I just have to do this. This is just the day. This is the day." And then I'm moving everything. And so I moved a bunch of bushes around, like just digging stuff out. Like it was a moment, that's for sure. Like my neighbors must think I am crazy. Crazier than they already thought. Okay. So we have our main part of our bow. You're fangirling. I love a good fangirl. I love it, absolutely. Now Renee is off to look at Valerie's. This is what I'm talking about. So my favorite housewife, Emily Simpson, she got her fall wreath the other day. And so she had her husband Shane holding it. And Shane is really funny. He's just very, very quick-witted. And so he said, like, you know, Shane not included. I'm just going to tuck these up like this for now. Shane not included, and then he called it like the wrath of Emily, and then he's like, oh, I mean like wreath. But I'm like, he is so funny, and I swear, like when he started on the show, I just don't think I just couldn't see him on it. He's so serious, or I thought he was serious, but no, he is like so sarcastic and funny. I love it. But I fangirl because one of my arrangements is like in the background at Emily's house, and like this season I keep seeing it. So if you watch The Real Housewives of Orange County, they're like sitting at the table talking about her work with the Innocence Project, which they do very important work. They help free people who are wrongly imprisoned. And I was like, my thing is in the background. I see it. I see it. So excited. All right. So I am going to start with my finials, which I hadn't even heard that word before. I just don't know. I'm guessing, is finial like an antique term, or have I just like been living under a rock? Because I mean, I don't know what I would have called it before. I mean, I've seen the style, but I've never called it a finial. Oh, it is amazing because of how much, like, I really do respect her. You know, like, she is very smart. She's a lawyer herself. You know, the reason why we connected anyways was because we're both, like, really big into animal advocacy. I don't know why I can't talk today. And so that's how we first connected. And it's just, then we have, like, other things in common. So I have a lot of respect for her. And I love that somebody who's, like, smart and strong, you know, and she's just very dedicated to her family, to like so many different important things. Like, I love seeing that. I'd rather see that all day than just see somebody who has like tons of purses and dresses. Like, yeah, that stuff is fun, but like the substance factor, like she has so much substance to her. So if I ever could have caught the attention of a housewife, it's 1,000,000% Emily Simpson that I would have chosen. And I'm just super grateful that I do get to design for her home because it's stunning. Absolutely stunning. Yes, the Innocence Project is it Innocent or Innocence? I think it's Innocence. And so she was talking with two people who had been freed. One had been in jail for 3 years. He missed the birth of his child. I forget what the situation was, but he was innocent. And so, you know, again, like missing the birth of your child and then missing their first 3 years is just devastating. And then the other one, this man had been in prison for 18 years for something that he didn't do. And so for the Innocence Project, they find these cases and they do them for free. They represent these folks for free and help them regain their freedom. And then they also help them get on their feet. So the person who had been in prison for 18 years, I mean, he probably was maybe 18 when he went in because he looks like he's in his 30s, which means he missed like an entire 18 years of like creating a career and a trade. So they did a fundraiser to help his name's Anthony, to put Anthony through trade school. So I'm like, give me more of that, and like, let's take notes on how to be like just a great human being that does more for other people. She fostered her first dog. It ended up being a foster fail. But, you know, foster fail is when you just can't say goodbye. But she took a dog that was on death row. Like that day, that dog would have been put down. And she went and she saved her. The dog's name is Cindy. And it's like Cindy knew. Like, I'm getting like chills. I can talk about animals all day. Cindy stays by her side like at all times, and it's like she is just forever grateful. She was so scared when she first went to their home, and now she's just like one of the pack. And you can tell like Emily's clearly the pack leader because anytime you see her in her house, there's the dogs just like here. I have four around me for the most part. A lot of dogs. A lot of dogs. They're sleeping over there. All right, so I am staggering these And then I'm going to put in, I think I'm going to do the ribbons first. I feel like the most important part of the swag is kind of like the ribbon work, because I like how it trails all the way down. And so I'm zip tying all these. I have real like ADHD when it comes to decorating. So every Christmas, pretty much, I just swap everything out. Like I love to have funky pencil trees. My mantle changes every year. So I zip tie everything because I can't commit. I will be honest, I have commitment issues. Yeah, Kim has only had rescues. I have had, so my shepherds aren't rescues. We did rescue a shepherd once, an inbred one, and it didn't end up going well. Really high prey drive. We sent her off to be boarded for 2 weeks, spent a few $1,000s on it because we really, really wanted it to work, and it just didn't work, and it was really heartbreaking. So, so for shepherds, I get them from a breeder, but my other dogs, they're all from Alabama, which when I was out there, two right now, but you feed the neighbors. Well, that's why the dog's there, because you're feeding it, Kim. Yes, so we get our rescues from Rebecca's Paws and Claws, which is in Alabama. And what they do is, you know, a lot of, I don't really know if there's just not a lot of neutering and spaying that happens down there, but it seems like they're overrun with animals. And one of the nights that we were down there, we went to Claudia's Airbnb, and there was a dog that she had a collar on. She was clean. She was friendly. But they were like, I don't know if she was abandoned. Apparently, like, there's just areas where people abandon their dogs. And I'm like, if I ever saw somebody abandon their dog, I would absolutely do something illegal to them, because that's just disgusting. But I digress. Sorry. Let's get back to what we're talking about. I just can't envision ever taking an animal that I love and just leaving it in the middle of nowhere. It's a commitment when you get an animal. All right, so these are, I think these are called bay leaves, maybe. Some type of mini leaf. And I love these because they're not glitter. And they almost have like these little, kind of like crystals on them. Let's see if I can give you a little close-up. I feel like everything in this kit, I mean, I got to look at everything and feel everything in person. So like, to me, I think everything is just fantastic quality. But they are bay leaves. Can you see like that it's not just glitter? It's like little crystally things. And again, like, stuff is not falling everywhere. All right. No $1 bills need to be flying, because these are just very well made. I'm not sure who makes them, but lots of strip club jokes today. Not sure why. All right, let's see. So I'm gonna have you go that way. And see, this is also why it's good to glue the tops of the ornaments, because otherwise, like, I am kind of like putting it through. I'm giving it the business right now. I'm being a little rough with it. So we are going to repeat that on this side. I also have brown zip ties. I think the 4-inch I love for all the individual branches, and then sometimes if I'm going around the spine of this, I just need something a little bit longer. And so brown zip ties, they just blend right in. So if I'm working on a grapevine wreath and I attach like a sign or a letter or something like that, I always use the brown zip ties, and I just kind of feed them through. Kim's saying when she goes through Walmart with glitter on her face, swearing she's innocent. 'Tis the season. All right, let's see. This guy is longer than my easel. I'm not saying something. Oh my gosh, so yesterday one of my neighbor's kids came over. She delivers my eggs. So, and she's very, very smart. And so I'm like doing like a big de-stash right now. I'm just trying to thin some things out because I just have too much, and it's to a point that it's like kind of stressful. Like it's not like fun to have that much stuff. It's more like I can't get organized because there's just stuff everywhere. So, she ended up shopping the de-stash a bit. I think, so yeah, what did I say? She's like 8. And she was like, how did you get so much stuff? And I'm like, yeah, like, it's like talking to my dad. I'm like, yeah, I know. She's like, who needs all this ribbon? You're never going to use all this ribbon. And I'm like, yeah, I'm not the only one. But I was like, geez, I should take this kid shopping with me, because she's like, why? Why have all this stuff? I was like, good question, Allie. Good question. Why did I buy all this stuff? But yeah, like I'm moving on, like all the ribbon that I do think is like kind of flimsy, like all that stuff. I'm like, I am like practically giving it away. I don't really want much money for it. I'm like, everything's $2. I don't care what it is, like $2. $2 are free. Oh my gosh, Ginger Sage, physical therapy, the doctor, the grocery store. There used to be an old joke, and I think it's inappropriate, but it's just something about, I think a mom used like a face cloth that had glitter on it. I don't know. I'm not even gonna say it. Not even gonna say it. But if you've heard it, you know, and it's pretty funny. It's like the doctor thought she got all fancy for him. All right, so I'm breaking this down. So this, let me see what this is called, because this honestly would do well for Valentine's Day. I don't know if you can really see, but like the glitter underneath it, it's really more of a rose gold. Like, I mean, even the stem is pink. So I think like whatever it gets paired with, like even this, it brings out like the pink in this when it's up against something different. It's not just like copper and bronze. It's got like little pops of hot pink. So I think this would be cool for Valentine's Day too. Let me see what this is. Yeah, okay, this is called a pink blush, blush pink leaf spray. So yeah, lots of pink. See, this is what we have to deal with as designers, is people wondering what we're really doing. All right, and let's see, I'm gonna go in the middle here. Just pulling this in. So I am very excited. I've been working on like this course, and I did so much of the work and like the videotaping and all this stuff. I did so much of it so long ago, and then I procrastinated. Like, do you guys ever do that? That you like make so much progress and then all of a sudden you stop? And so I stopped, and then I was trying to find all the components that I like spent all of this time working on. And so this week I have like I got a new platform that I'm very excited about. It can take, I don't know that I'm gonna move my shop over to it, but you can migrate your Shopify to it, your Aweber, you can host courses on it, you can run sales through it. I definitely am not comfortable moving my shop unless I like really, really, really know that it's gonna be okay, because it's very expensive for somebody to design a website for you. And even with mine being designed, I wish it was better. But yeah, like there's no way I can jeopardize that without like having full faith that it's all gonna be okay. Let's see. When does anybody like wrap up with your winter designs? Because to me, I'm like, I feel like I haven't fully put away fall. I need to. I have one more workshop tomorrow night. and then I think I'm gonna pack it up. But yes, I don't think there's really anybody local to me here, but Epigram Brewing in Tingsboro, Mass, they have the best beer, like the best IPA. And I stopped drinking beer a couple of years ago, I think. Like I might have like I'll have like a pumpkin beer because I'm just basic like that. But like I don't drink beer anymore. I just think it's too many calories and all that stuff. They have like this one beer that like I will go out of my way to go and have one. It's so good. So I'm really excited for tomorrow night. Last week's was at a wine shop, like a wine boutique. So like there's definitely a theme here, but I do feel like people enjoy having a drink and while they're crafting, especially if it's like after work. You know, it's after work, you want to see your friends, you want to hang out, like. So I'm excited for that. That's my last fall one of the season, and then we're on to winter very soon. Very soon. And I'm doing a virtual one. The virtual one's going to be between 70 to 90 people. And so my dad, I think, is way more stressed about it than I am, but so it's virtual, so they all need their kits put in, prepared in advance, and they all have to have like exactly like the right things. I get to make 3 different bows. So I'm like, we're talking a minimum of 210 bows. So I need to do a little at a time because I know my wrists are going to like go on strike. It's gonna be a lot for my wrists. But that will be fun. And I'm gonna do another virtual with my boy Coco. So Coco DeVille is in Australia, and he is known for, he does a lot of spoofs of the Kardashians because he's got like beautiful long hair like Kim Kardashian. So that's kind of where it started, but he does spoofs on like everything. He's just a genius. So in Australia, I feel like our time difference is like, I want to kind of say it's like 15 hours or something. So last time I think I did it, I think it was nighttime for me and morning for him, but like it was really, really fun. And like he was in California and he's like, oh, is this near you? Like maybe we, I'm like, no, we're very, very far apart still. But I just love that he is like so into it because he is like a hairdresser. He does costumes, like he does so much. And the fact that he loves wreaths, I just think it's like the cutest thing ever. And like when we did our designing, I'm like, everything you say sounds like naughty with your accent. There's something about an Australian accent that everything seems like cheeky to me. And he's like, I don't have an accent, you have an accent. And I'm like, I don't have an accent. I always wish like I knew what my accent sounds like to other people, but I know that's impossible. And I'm like really bad at imitating people's. Without thinking of it, I just imitate people's accents or like how they speak. It's just, I do it without thinking, along with the many things I do without thinking. I'm like, someday someone's gonna be a little ticked. Someday someone's not gonna think it's so funny. So I'm like, I really should probably stop doing that, but I can't help it. I love other people's accents. Anyway, let me just turn this. And everything is very malleable, so I feel like we're gonna just kind of bend these branches, get the most movement out of them, make everything nice and airy. And then we're gonna go in with our ribbon. So, let's see how I wanna do this. Why did I make so many tails up top? That I shouldn't have done. Okay, because what I typically like to do is layer and then like pinch or pleat. So why, Cara, did you do this? Maybe I can have a little bit of the tails go up. See, Kim, you're probably like, rookie mistake right there. Don't make all those tails. There's nowhere for them to go. Yeah, okay, if I could have done that again, I would say only make the one set of tails. And then let me just get this guy fluffed, buffed, and ready. Hold you up. And that's another thing that's nice about when you have like a really full pine piece like this, is that you can take these to actually use them like wire. When you have skimpy ones, I know you can do it, but I'm like, I don't really want to waste the branches. All right. Looking for our zip ties. I don't want to be blocking any of my pretty elements, like my finials. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to layer them and kind of have them fluff out a little bit. And then I'm going to zip tie it onto the branch. And then to cover my mechanics, I'm going to bend the end of this branch over so it's covering up our zip tie. There we go. I think I'm just, you know, I was going to cut it, but you know what I could do is try and make it do something cute up here instead. Yes, let's do that. I don't want to waste all this nice ribbon. Sorry, no, this is not a great angle. I will fix it in just a sec. All right, and I do have spare branches up here, so I am going to use them. Breathe even. Here, and then I will switch it back. I can see why people just use like the 1 inch or even like the 7/8 of an inch on these, because it is nice the way that they are woven through. And again, if they're nice and stiff and structured. Like Melissa from TCT Crafts, she has some great ribbons. And I love the way she does her bows. She's one of the ones that does like just a bunch of those like big loops, but it's like it's like a lot of movement with them. All right, so. Go back onto the track. I always tell people not to fluff until the end because there's no point really, but it's just so hard not to. I want every angle you can see a little bit of each of our ribbons. Like so. Okay. That was a lot of me talking to myself. Off center here. All right, so let me see. We're gonna continue with the 3 layered, and I think we'll do 1, 1, 2 here, and then 1 down. So let's break back out our ribbon. And these will all just be the same length. I don't think it needs to be that long. Like if only I knew how long it was, but I do have a ruler. Okay, so it's probably gonna be a little over 12 inches, maybe like 14-ish. Should work, give us a little room to do that pleating. Once, let's do it twice. Is it raw and rainy like anywhere else? These days are just want to like hide. Plus, like I did get in the habit of walking Bruno, and I'm like, this is going to derail it because, you know, it's like I think they say you form a habit in like 30 days or something like that. So I was on a bit of a schedule with them. And I do not want to walk in this weather. It's just so cold. It's one thing to be cold, but when it's cold and rainy, it's raw. That's not the right way to do it. I need to overlap these so that it looks like it's, oops, didn't need to do that. I'm gonna overlap these so it looks just like one continued tail. And I'm sure people that do this often, they probably do make like just one big tail. So if anybody is on here and you do make swags on a regular basis, or you make swags enough, like let me know if ever you just measure out just like the ribbon all the way down. Because really that's what I should have done. That would have saved me this step. All right, I'm going to do the same thing for here. Need to make sure it's covering the right spot. This is when you know things are live, because I am just talking out loud and redoing things. Like, that's one of the things I really enjoy about getting to do creative work is I feel like everyone has their own method, and like you can explain it. It doesn't necessarily make sense to everybody, but as long as it makes sense to you and it works for you. And I always think about it's like, you know, you could take 20 different roads, but you end up at the same place. And that's how I think it is when it comes to creative people, is that everyone just has their own way of doing things, and there's no right or wrong, and it doesn't have to make sense to you. And it doesn't mean that if you do it differently than someone else that like someone's right and someone's wrong. It just, people just have their own methods, their own ways of doing things. And I think it's fascinating. I'm telling you, my girl shepherd comes up to the window and she just does like one bark, and I'm pretty sure she's like swearing at me just based on what it sounds like. Like, all my dogs love to be around me except for the girl shepherd. She's just like, she could like take it or leave it kind of thing, which I find to be very strange since shepherds are such like loyal dogs. But when I did get back from like a work trip, like all the dogs were so excited to see me, and like Ernie never even came in the house. She was like, I'll see you when I see you. Like, all right. No real attachment issues there. All right, now we'll do some at the bottom. I will say, I think if I had done the ribbons the way I think I should have done them with the long tails, then this would have come together even quicker. Not that it's ever a rush, but sometimes it's nice if you have like, you have a craft show coming up, or you know, you're behind, like some people I've heard being like, oh, I haven't even started Christmas yet. Like, that happens to the best of us. It's so hard to plan ahead. Also, you know, sometimes it's like feast or famine. You go from having no orders to all of a sudden you have, you know, like 6 custom orders, and then it throws everything off. Like, I have plans, I have big plans on like this big restock for my winter stuff, but until I clear like the deck, I can't do any of those things. So right now I have like 1 custom order left. But man, I did those witches hats, and I think I procrastinated on the witch's hat for several months. Like, this woman reached out to me, I think over the summer, and asked about it, and I just procrastinated because I was like, I have no idea how you put the witch's hat on, how you fill it, like all of this stuff. I ordered at least 7 different witch's hats on Amazon and returned them. And then the other day I was like, it's October, like you have to cut it out, like you have to grow, put on your big girl pants. And so I did the first one, and I was like, oh my gosh, this is so much easier than I thought it would be. I made it such a big deal. So then I gave out a very big discount, because I'm like, I know that people who are thinking about Halloween in the summer are big Halloween people, and you don't want to be in October not having your Halloween stuff. I don't know why I ever touch anything. Every time I do, I mess things up. Or I almost block somebody. Oh my gosh, I have not seen any of your comments. I was like, why is everybody so quiet? But I didn't want to like make you, or like, not make you, but like put you on the spot. What the heck? See, like, I don't even know what point you haven't reached, Kim. What is the point? And yes, you get more relaxed. This could be chocolate Christmas luxury. Yes, I totally think it's luxury. I think that these felt ornaments you know, again, like when you see something that's like new to the market, like I love the jewels. I think the jewels are gorgeous. I bought a bunch of the jewels. I need to work with them. But I have not seen any of this, like this felt, these felt ornaments. Gorgeous. Oh, well, I'm glad I didn't see that it was sunny and 70, Kim. Oh, Sydney, you have a grandbaby? Oh my gosh, grandson number 9. Wait, or is he 9 pounds, 4 ounces? I think he's 9 pounds, 4 ounces. That's super exciting. Congratulations, Sydney. What a blessing, huh? What a blessing. What is your like grandma name? I always need to know this because I love how people just make like up new ones. That is so exciting. Waterfall your ribbons. So I don't know what that is. Waterfall your ribbons. Oh, I wonder if you're going back. Well, not you. I'm going back. Is that if I had made like one long set of tails? Is that what waterfalling is? Let's see. Perfect. Yes, I think that bows and like tree toppers, they have a great profit margin. Think about how many people that like make these things and we don't like, and not we, like, and they don't want to deal with learning how to make bows. If people have something in mind for, you know, like their stairway, their mantle, like they are willing to pay like for bows. Like the profit margin is very big. You know, I will say like when they don't sell, I tend to just like, I put them in a bag and if someone orders them, I just take them out and I steam them. I hit them with a little UV spray. I don't know if that's extra. There's a ribbon that I've been using and I was shocked. It faded really, really quickly on one of my customers. So I figure if you can use UV spray on artificial florals, which are fabric, then why can't you use them on ribbon? So I don't go crazy with it because I don't exactly know if it has that impact or not, but I'm like, it can't hurt. Yeah, I have to get, it's what I used in my thing for Ashley's Summit. It's that hot pink with the lime like diagonals. And I was shocked. Hey Minerva, how are you? Sydney's on a baby high. Oh my gosh. The smell of babies is just, I always say, I'm like, I would give anything to hold Riley again as a baby. Anything. How is my baby 22? Well, no, she's 21. I'm sorry. I'm not rushing it. She's gonna be 22. Not that far from now. Got her own apartment. It's like, ugh. Time goes by so fast, and I know it's so cliche. And I try and tell people, and I'm like, I know it sounds cliche, but like you are going to all of a sudden like just wish. You know, like they say, you never know when it's like the last time you're gonna give your kid a bath or the last time they're gonna ask to be picked up. And it's like sometimes as parents, like you just can't help but feel overwhelmed and feel a little bit stressed by it. But then all of a sudden it's gone. Like they stop asking, you stop doing, and you don't get that time back. Like I'm really lucky that Riley likes to come home. She likes to come home and cook and hang out. So I am blessed that way. That I have a kid that likes me, that likes and loves me. Otherwise, it would be so sad. It is funny when I hear about people with like lots of grandkids, I'm like, do they realize that their inheritance is going to be so much smaller with each grandbaby? Everyone else's stock goes down. It's worth it though, of course. I'm joking. Yeah, so my mom is a Kiki. My friend Lisa is a Gigi, which I'm not sure. I'm still unclear if Gigi it's an Italian thing or if it's just something anybody can do. Like, I know ma mère is French, but I love all these names because I had a Grammy and they're both Grammys, actually. All right, so I just want to fluff this up a little. Take a different branch for this. Yeah. Who said it the other day, like, people should be grandparents before they're parents? Because then you realize, like, what you'd be missing. Oh, it was on the Real Housewives. Apparently that's, like, my only, that's where all my information comes from. Bronwyn was saying that, like, people should be grandparents before they're parents because then you really have, like, an appreciation and maybe, like, you're not as strict as you would be and, you know, you're more patient, all of those things. And I'm like, that totally makes sense because I think being a grandparent would be so fun. And I think being a parent is fun, but it's a lot of work and it's a lot of stress and that maybe we miss some of those fun moments because of it. So I was like, imagine that if you could be a grandparent first and enjoy all of those moments. I'm just moving stuff around. See, I can see why people use mesh for this stuff because you can fill in all of these areas. So yeah, so this is the kit. I always do a little zhuzhing after because I'm always at a bit of a disadvantage with what it looks like head on. Let's see. Oh, bows, okay. Kim, I swear to God, I was gonna say like puppy breath. It's just like one of those things. Some people think bows and wreaths are supposed to last forever outside. Yeah, think of it like clothes that fade. I agree. You know, if you look at Williams-Sonoma in particular, if you look at their fine print for their wreaths, it is like dust them, fluff them or whatever. But a lot of like their dried ones especially, they have like 6 months on them. Like it tells you how long they're going to last, and they do not last long. You know, when you're working with manufactured wreaths, they look manufactured. Like they feel manufactured. They're not taking the time to do like all the mechanics, like all the things that we spend time like geeking out about. Like I geek out about my tools and, you know, covering mechanics and all that stuff. Like they're just sliding things in. I don't even feel like things aren't glued. They're like loosely wired. But I mean, if you're going to pay for one of those fancy stores, you're going to pay, you know, somewhere between $200 to $400, and you're going to have a wreath that doesn't last. Like that to me is crazy. Like 6 months is not good. It is not good. But yeah, they're not going to last forever. But that bow in particular, it barely lasted the season. And I was just really shocked. I mean, I know that she's got a full sun door. Same thing happened with one of my D. Stevens chinoiserie ribbons. And I'm like, I mean, you just never know. And she wasn't squawking. She wasn't complaining in any way, but she was just letting me know. And I'm like, I'm glad because now I want to make sure that I'm adding some extra, you know, UV spray to everything. Oh, you're Mimi? I think that's so cute. Oh, all right, Sydney. Well, enjoy your Mimi time, and we'll see you again. Oh, what a special day. So, all right, guys. So this is the Chocolate Mousse swag kit. I am gonna do a little zhuzhing. I will end up posting the link And as always, if you use promo code CARA20, you save 20% off your purchase. You do want to make sure that you purchase kits separately so that you get the free shipping. But if you have any questions, or if you get this kit, Kim, well, I don't want to pressure you to buy the kit, but if you do get this kit, I would love to see your spin on it. So, you know, you can find me on Facebook, Instagram, all the places. That's the one thing with YouTube that I don't love, is that, like, you can't really, it's not reciprocal. Like, you can't share back. Actually though, Kim, I gotta find your page. Thank you so much, Valerie. So I hope you guys have a great rest of your day, and I will be seeing you soon.